You waited for him to be ready. You believed his someday. And now you're 37, watching him give your years to her. That's not bad luck. That's evidence. But you were not trained to see it because him stalling wasn't hesitation. It was his answer. And he stalls with you, but commits to her. He was never going to choose you. You think you wasted your life. You didn't. He took your loyalty, your love, your patience, then handed the future you built and he promised to someone else. He gave your someday to her today. I'm Soke. I built evidence-based thinking first to protect my daughters from wasted years on men who stall, and now to protect women like you from being the placeholder. In this video, I'll give you 4 dating relationship tools based on EBT that stop you from being the placeholder. How to test his promises against time. How to set real deadlines for commitment. How to track consistency instead of excuses. And how to demand clear intentions before you invest. Because if you don't, you'll keep waiting. And one day, you'll wake up realizing he was never going to choose you. He was only stalling you. And the years you invested, he gave to someone else. This is how the placeholder trap plays out. He says, someday we're going on vacation. Someday I'm going to buy you your dream house. Someday we're going to get married. You ask, when? He says, soon. I just need more time. Please be patient. It feels like hesitation, but it's not. It's his answer. That's the cycle. Vague promises, no timelines, no steps forward. He keeps you close enough to feel chosen, but far enough that he doesn't feel the pressure to do it. This isn't hesitation. It's strategy. He gets your loyalty, your comfort, your patience, without even investing in the relationship. That's the definition of a placeholder. You're good enough for right now, but you are never good enough for forever. EBT teaches, don't take promises as evidence that things will move forward. Only actions can do that. And here's the redirect you can use today. The next time he says, someday, say, there are only 7 days in a week, and someday isn't one of them. Tool number 1, test his promises against real timelines. If he says, we'll move in together someday, test it. Ask, by when? If there's no month, no year, no step in motion, that's not a plan. It's stalling dressed up as hope. The power is in the timeline. Real intentions always show up on time. You weren't gullible. You were untrained. No one gave you the tools to tell the difference between wanting you and using you. That's why I wrote the book, Stop Guessing in Dating. It's based on the same system I taught my 3 daughters and to hundreds of others. So women like you never lose years waiting on promises that will never be fulfilled. How many times have you said to yourself, I should have seen it. Maybe I overreacted. Was I crazy for thinking he was serious? You weren't crazy. You were right. You just didn't know how to use evidence as your guide. Download it now. The first 100 copies are free. After that, it becomes a paid product. Now back to the tools. Tool number 2, define the relationship within reasonable time. A man who wants you won't leave you floating in the let's see where this goes. Set the standard. By this date, it needs to be defined, or I move on. You're not rushing. You're valuing your greatest resource, your time. This is dating advice every woman over 30 needs. Never give your years to a maybe. Tool number 3, measure consistency, not his presence. He might still text. He might still see you, but if he keeps leaving and coming back, He's not choosing you. He's refusing you. Consistency is the evidence. Presence isn't enough. This is how women waste years in relationships, mistaking attention for commitment. Tool number 4, require clear intentions before serious involvement. Before you invest years, ask clearly, what are your intentions for me? What are your intentions for us? If his answer is vague, if it shifts, if it hides behind feelings, believe that. That's your evidence. This story comes from my notes about one of my clients. We'll call her Shania. Shania gave 7 years to a man who always said someday. Someday we'll move in together. Someday we'll start a family. Someday he'll be ready. She waited. She lowered her standards. She told herself, at least he's here. But here's the truth. He wasn't building with her. He was using her to fill a space. And when he met someone new, he committed in months to a future Shania had been waiting for years. That's when she saw it. She was never going to be chosen. She was nothing but a placeholder. Her lesson came too late to save those 7 years, but not too late to save the rest of her life. With the next man, she tested every promises against a timeline. With the next man, she listened to the actions instead of the words. With the next man, someday was no longer an answer. And here's the difference. The moment a man stalled, she no longer stalled with him. She stepped away instead of waiting. Now, let's review some questions women have asked about placeholders. Question 1. What if he needs more time because of work, family, or stress? Ask, how much time do you need? If it's reasonable, put him on the clock. When the time is up, revisit the conversation. If it's unreasonable, you have your answer. Question 2. How do I know if I'm being patient or just wasting years? If nothing changes after you wait, it's not patience. It's postponement. Patience should yield progression. Wasted years yields repetition. Question 3. What if he says he's scared of losing me, but still won't commit? Explain. He will definitely lose you without a commitment. That choice is now his. This is what EBT calls putting the ball in his court. Question 4. What if I walk too soon and miss out on something real? EBT teaches it's not what if, but what is. We don't worry about what we don't have evidence for. That's what if. We only concern ourselves with what we do have evidence for, the what is. And if the evidence points to being a placeholder, you should not continue down that path. You were not taught to test promises. You were not taught to measure time. You were taught to hope. That's why you waited. That's why you gave years to someday, but not anymore. My coaching is where women like you stop guessing, where you stop being the placeholder, where you learn to see the evidence before you lose years. If you're ready to stop waiting and start deciding, book a one-on-one with me today. The link is down in the description below. To the daughters, you waited, you believed, you gave him the time he never earned, years he never respected, and chances he knew he would never use. He kept saying, someday, and you held on because you loved him, because you saw potential, because you thought a good woman would wait. But while you were holding space for his healing, he was looking for a better place to be. You weren't the woman he was building with. You were the woman he was passing time with. And when he was finally ready, he handed your future to someone else. He gave her the trip, the ring, the timeline, not because she was better, but because she was what he wanted, because she didn't wait long enough to be taken for granted. And now you're sitting with the truth. He was never confused. He just didn't want to choose you. and didn't want to lose the comfort of you while he figured it out. But this isn't just about what happened. It's about what's still happening. Because some of you are still there, still holding on to the hope he'll come back with a plan, still shrinking, still adjusting, still saying, maybe I'm just asking for too much. You're not. You were never taught that someday is how you lose your best years, one excuse at a time. So to the daughters who gave their prime to a man still making up his mind, and to the ones who still stuck in the maybe, this is where you stop. Stop letting love mean wait. This is where you stop asking for more time and start asking for a timeline. Let the evidence lead the way. Click here to watch the next video.